Hello everyone, so this is lecture 29 of our subject digital system design, and the topic for today's lecture is digital to analog converters. So these are the contents of today's lecture, in which we will be covering the basics of DAC. We will start with DAC introduction, and then we will proceed towards the structure of DACs, and then moving towards the different types of DACs. Okay, so in DAC's introduction, we have to first understand what are the basic concepts of digital to analog conversion. That means how this digital information is going to be converted into analog signal. So this is a digital input in which you can see that there is data in form of binary. Okay, and it is being converted into a continuous value. A binary input is getting converted into a decimal value, and all those decimal points then can be joined to give it a continuous representation, which is termed as the analog input. Okay, so while we are performing digital to analog conversion, so this digital to analog conversion can be simply understood as, if we are able to perform binary to decimal conversion with the help of a circuit, then it can be related with digital to analog conversion. And this is the formula as we have used in our basic conversion from binary to decimal, in which we had seen that if this is the number provided to me 1011, which is in binary, then what I did was 1 into 2 raised to power 0 plus 1 into 2 raised to power 1 plus 0 into 2 raised to power 2 plus 0 into 2 raised to power 3. So something like this. It's not 0, this is 1. So 1 into 2 raised to power 3. So this is the same structure. So if my circuit is able to generate that expression, although there might be some additional things, and those additional things can be considered as the proportionality factor k, that can be equated to unity by adjusting the circuit components or the supply voltages. Okay. So this is the basic how we are going to convert digital to analog by following the principle of binary to decimal conversion. Okay. So this is the binary data or digital data, it passes through DAC and we are getting a continuous waveform. So it is being named as, it is being termed as analog input, analog output. Okay. So this is the basic of DAC. Okay. Now let's go into the further types of DACs. So there are basically two type of DACs, binary weighted resistor and R2R ladder. Okay. So all these D to A converters will be comprising of switches, resistors and op amps. So these three are the basic components which we will be using to prepare these DAC structures. So let's start with the first one, binary weighted resistor DAC. So this is binary weighted resistor DAC. So it utilizes a summing op amp circuit. Summing op amp circuit means operational amplifier acting as a summer. Okay, that means multiple inputs can be added together. That means it must be having multiple branches by which the input will be entering the op amp. And before proceeding towards the details of this op amp is also not from our digital electronics subject, and this is actually a IC. This is operational amplifier is an IC, or we can say it is a component which is from the analog domain. So we have not covered anything about this op amp in our previous lectures. So I am just giving a brief idea of how this op amp will be functional from that angle, so that we are able to understand its functionality from our utility point of view, that is the D to A converters and A to D converters. So this op amp is basically an IC available to us, in which mainly there are three components, although it is an 8-pin IC, but we will be using only 3 pins which are being required for this D to A converter purpose. So from that point of view, there are two input terminals. Okay. and there is one output terminal. So this is my inverting terminal and this is non-inverting terminal. Okay. So these are the two inputs and this is the one output. So this output will be generating the operation performed between the the inputs applied at these two inputs. So from that point of view, there can be two configurations. If we are grounding, as we can see that this is op amp in inverting configuration. Okay. As we can see that non-inverting, that means the plus terminal is grounded, because input will be applied through the minus terminal, or we can say the inverting terminal. That is why it is termed as inverting configuration of op amp, in which we can see that there is a feedback resistor. So in inverting configuration, gain is minus Rf upon R1. Okay. Similarly, if it would have been a non-inverting configuration, so non-inverting, in case of non-inverting, if there would have been a resistor here and then this Rf and this was R1, then in that case for non-inverting configuration, gain would have been 1 plus Rf upon R1. But we are not going to use this non-inverting configuration. So I will be mainly focusing on this non-inverting gain, which is equal to minus Rf by R1. Okay. So in this minus Rf by R1 type gain, this is the arrangement which is provided to me. Now how this arrangement is functional, how this is accepting the inputs, we have to see that these are the terminals which are actually accepting the digital data. Okay. You can see that there are two possibilities, one for high signal and one for low signal. Similarly for all the switches 1 0 1 0 1 and 0. All these zeros are connected to a voltage which is termed as V0, and all these ones are connected to a supply which is termed as V1. Okay. Later on we will see that we will be grounding the voltage supply for V0 and we will be using a reference voltage VR for high signal, that is V1. Okay. So this is the switch part of the circuit. Now after that, as the name suggests, weighted resistor, that means there will be different resistor for each bit. That means if it is LSB, that means it is a least significant bit, that means it must be having the highest resistance, so that the output from that branch is the minimum. Similarly, the MSB, most significant bit, so for most significant bit the resistance should be minimum, so that will be the lowest resistance branch. Okay. So you can see that R is there, R is the lowest resistance, and there is a 2 raised to power n minus 1 R, which is the highest resistance. Okay. So for this lowest resistance, it is marked here that it is MSB branch, most significant branch, most branch for most significant bit, and similarly this is for LSB, that is this last one is the LSB branch, and we are moving towards from MSB to LSB, and resistor is increasing in powers of 2. That means we started with R, then the next branch resistance will be 2R, then the next branch resistance will be 4R, then 8R, 16, 32 and so on. Okay. Up to the number of bits which we are going to feed into the DAC. Okay. And the outputs of all these branches are going to be added together, and that thing is going to be applied at the input of this inverting op amp configuration. Okay. Where this feedback resistance is also connected. So if we are interested in finding the values of these voltages, or sorry, values of these currents, then we can check that there are different current. There are, this is termed as IN minus 1 branch, IN minus 2 branch. As this is the LSB, so it is denoted by I naught, and this is MSB, it is denoted by N minus 1. So some of these currents will be the actual current which will be entering this inverting terminal of the op amp. Okay. And if we talk about the individual values of these currents, then this I naught will be equal to, we can check that the voltage applied is will be V naught, and divide by 2 raised to power n minus 1 R. Similarly, this I n minus 1 current will be equal to V n minus 1 divided by branch resistance, which is R. Similarly, we can calculate for other resistances as well. But the main thing is how these currents are going to be summed together by this op amp. So, for that we will be considering the individual branches. Okay. So, let us proceed to that section now. So, as we have already seen that the gain, I am again writing it here, gain of this configuration is equal to minus Rf upon R1. Okay. So, this is the gain of this configuration. Now, Rf is common for all the branches, but R, this input resistance, instead of using R1, I am saying it as R in, input resistance. So, input resistance of all these branches are different. So, we will be taking one branch at a time. So, if we take this branch now, okay. So, if I take this branch, then we can write the expression as V naught, output will be equal to input is V for this branch, this is I n minus 1, that is V n minus 1, and actually for all these bits we can actually use this V1 as VR, reference voltage, and V naught as ground, or we can say 0 volt. Okay. So, from that point of view, all the input voltages will either be 0 or VR. Okay. So, from that point of view, I will be writing here, instead of V naught, V1, V2, instead of those terms, I will be writing here VR. Okay. Reference voltage VR. So, this VR will be applied here, and it will be equivalent, it will be considered if that bit position here, this is Bn minus 1 and this is B naught. So, this if this MSB is equivalent to 1, so Bn minus 1 has to be multiplied with it. Okay. So, I am multiplying it with Bn minus 1. Okay. So, Bn minus 1. This is the voltage which will be entering, and the gain factor will be Rf upon R. This is for the first branch. Okay. And the gain is negative. So, I am adding a minus sign in front, because here you can see the gain is negative. Similarly, for other branch, for the second branch, if we check, it will be VR into Bn minus 2, okay, into Rf upon 2 raised to power 1 R, and this R can be considered as 2 raised to power 0 R. It is 2 raised to power 0. Okay. Similarly, we have written for this branch, and for the third branch, then VR Bn minus 1 into Rf, not Bn minus 1 but Bn minus 3 Rf upon 2 raised to power 2 R, and proceeding further. Similarly, for the last branch, VR into B naught into Rf upon 2 raised to power n minus 1 R. Okay. So, this is the sum total of all the branches. So, if we take whatever we are getting common, so if we take VR common, minus VR common actually, and this thing also common, 2 raised to power n minus 1, and also Rf upon R. So if all this thing is taken common outside, then we can check that from the first bracket. From the first bracket, what will be left inside? Vr is taken common, this Rf is taken common, R is taken common, 2 raised to power n minus 1 is taken from here. So ultimately it will go into the numerator side inside the bracket. So it will be Bn minus 1 into 2 raised to power n minus 1. Similarly for second branch, it will be Bn minus 2 into 2 raised to power n minus 2. Similarly, Bn minus 3 into 2 raised to power n minus 3. Okay. And proceeding for the last branch, B naught into 2 raised to power naught. Okay. So in this way, we have taken few things common, and after taking these things common, we can check that this complete thing is required for me, and this complete thing can be termed as the proportionality factor K. Okay. So the value inside the bracket will be helpful for me for converting from digital to analog, or we can say binary to decimal. But this K thing, if we are able to manage and K is equal to 1, for this K is equal to 1, we have to ensure that Vr should be equal to minus 2 raised to power n minus 1, and first requirement, and second requirement will be if Rf is equal to R. So if these two requirements are satisfied, then we can check that the remaining thing will be the part inside the bracket, and the part inside the bracket is exactly equivalent to your binary to decimal conversion, which is directly related to digital to analog conversion. Okay. So from that point of view, this weighted resistor is complete now, and it is able to convert our decimal signal into an analog signal. Okay. So what are the different merits and demerits for this DAC? It is having simple construction and fast conversion. So these are the two advantages, and from disadvantage point of view, we can see an obvious disadvantage that it requires large range of resistors. So if we are designing a 12-bit DAC, then we require 1:2000. This relation is required. So for 12-bit, we will be having 0, 1 up to 11. So 2 raised to power 0 will be, and 2 raised to power 11. So this 2 raised to power 0 will be equivalent to your 1 ohm, and 2 raised to power 11 will be equivalent to your 2048 ohm. So this much vast range of resistances will be required. Okay. So if we are taking in ohm, actually, although it can be in kilo ohm as well. So if this is 1 kilo ohm, then it will be that much kilo ohm. Okay. So it requires low switch resistance in transistors. Actually, we have shown it in the form of passive switches, but these transistors, when these switches, when we will be preparing an actual circuit, will be transistor based switches, and it can be expensive, therefore usually limited to 8-bit resolution. So for that 8-bit resolution, this relation will be, we will be having resistance value of R, 2R, 4R, 8R, 16R, 32R, 64R, and 128R. Okay. So these will be the different set of resistances which will be required for this 8-bit resolution. So these are some advantages, disadvantages. Now let's proceed towards the second D2A converter, which is named as R2R ladder DAC. So as the name suggests, there are only two types of resistances, either it will be R or it will be 2R. So it is easing out the constraint of that weighted resistor, that so much vast range of resistors are not required to design this R2R ladder type DAC. So it uses only two resistor values, R and 2R. Okay. The input to the resistor network are applied to the digitally controlled switches. Digitally controlled switches means these are again transistor based switches. A switch is in position 0 or 1 corresponding to the digital input for that bit position being 0 or 1. So switch will be 0 position, in 0 position it will be connected to 0 input, in 1 position it will be connected to 1 input, or we can say for 0 it will be connected to low input, for 1 position it will be connected to high input. So this is the basic structure. So if it looks a bit complex, you can check that this is an initial branch, and after that you can see that for n number of branches, for an n bit DAC, we are having these 2R branches which are accepting the binary input. Okay. These 2R branches, or we can say the vertical branches, are accepting the binary input, and the resistance between these parallel branches are R, and if there would have been, then it would have also been R, then R, and the last resistance, this last one is equal to 2R, that we have to remember. Okay. So this is a general structure of a n bit R to R ladder DAC. So if you want to prepare a 3-bit version for that, so for that 3-bit version we can actually reduce the arrangement. It will be something like this. Okay. So this is the 2R branch, first 2R branch, and this is the first branch which will be accepting the input low or high. I am simply representing it in form of low and high. Two switches position low and high. Similarly, another branch low and high, and this last one, and this is my op amp. RF, these all are 2R, 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 this one is also 2R, and these are R branches. Okay. So all these L terminals will be actually grounded, and all these high terminals will be connected to VR. Okay. All these high will be connected to VR. All low will be connected to ground, high will be connected to VR. Okay. So now let's proceed towards the 3-bit structure. Now for that 3-bit structure, we are taking 3 cases. First, we are applying data 0 0 1, that is this LSB is equal to 1. Similarly, we will take another case in which middle bit is 1 0 1 0. Similarly, third case will be taken as MSB 1 1 0 0. So this is case for 0 0 1. So we will be summarizing here for this 0 0 1 what I am getting. So for 0 0 1 I am writing it here, what I will be getting: resistance value, resistance and voltage. Okay. Similarly for 0 1 0 resistance and voltage, and similarly for 1 0 0 resistance and voltage. Now let's proceed towards the analysis of the circuit. So if this bit is 0 0 1, that means MSB is 0, this is also 0, and this LSB is 1. So that's why there is voltage only here. Okay. So from that point of view, if we check the equivalent resistance at this interface, which is named as XX interface. So at this XX interface, 2R and 2R are in parallel, which becomes equivalent to R. So this is the equivalent resistance of this R, and this R again becomes in series, they become 2R. Okay. And this voltage VR is calculated from the voltage divider rule. So voltage divider rule is this. So if this is resistance R1, this is resistance R2, so voltage across this R1 or R2 will be equal to V into R2 upon R1 plus R2. So if we put R1 and R2 is equal to, both are equal to 2R. So if we put here V into 2R upon 2R plus 2R. So if we check this, we will be getting it as VR by 2. Okay. So VR by 2 is the voltage for this branch. We have mentioned it here. Sorry, it is not the exact voltage. We will be calculating the exact voltage. It is for the XX interface only. So I am not writing it for the complete case. This is the voltage for XX interface. Now again, if we apply the same thing at YY interface, so if we check for YY interface, again this 2R and 2R are in parallel, so this complete combination results in this R, and this R is this one. So RR again becomes 2R, and 2R again in parallel. Okay, so they will become ultimately R, and this R will be in parallel with this, so it becomes 2R. So and here at this YY interface, so if you check the voltage at YY interface in the above figure, then again now the initial voltage is VR by 2. So if we put in this relation V is equal to VR by 2, then we will be getting VR by 4 actually. So this VR by 4 is written as VR by 2 square. Similarly for the ZZ interface, it will get divided by 2 once again. So it will be VR by 2 cube. Okay, and the effective resistance will be R 2R. That means it will become 3R. Okay, so the effective resistance is 3R, and the voltage is effective voltage is VR by 2 cube. So it is VR by 2 cube. Similarly, if we take the case for 010, for 010 we can see that the voltage will be here. Okay, voltage will be applied here. So for that the division will not take place at the first branch. So if division is not taking place at the first branch, then in that case the voltage will be divided for the first time on the YY interface and second time on the ZZ interface. So it will be divided by 2 only 2 times. So in that case voltage will be VR by 2 square, and resistance is going to be identical for all 3 cases, because resistance is simply positioned on the same places. So for third case 100, again the resistance is going to be the same, but third case means that MSB is equal to 00. For this MSB is equal to 0, the voltage will not divide. There will be no voltage at XX interface, there will be no voltage at YY interface. The first time voltage will be at the ZZ interface only. So at that point of time it will be divided by 2 only once. So that's why the voltage will be VR by 2. So these are the 3 voltages and 3 resistances. So there becomes a modified circuit. We can check that 3R, 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 VR by 2, VR by 2 square, VR by 2 cube. So this is, as we can see that it is the least voltage and this is the highest voltage. So that's why they are being marked as MSB and LSB. So again we can write the same expression using as we have done in the weighted resistor case. So 3 branches are there. For first branch it will be RF by 3R into VR by 2 cube, which is the input voltage, multiplied by the bit position B naught for LSB branch. Similarly RF by 3R. RF by 3R is common for every branch, because this 3R is in all the branches, and then VR by 2 square is the voltage for second branch multiplied by B1, because they can be considered as B naught, B1 and B2. Okay, and for this third branch we can check that VR by 2 into B2 RF upon 3R. So if we take RF by 3R common, then it becomes RF by 3R and VR by 2 cube common. So it becomes this thing. So which is exactly equivalent to your binary to decimal conversion, or we can say it is directly getting translated to your digital to analog conversion. So the only thing is, if this complete thing is equivalent to K, then for K is equal to 1, you have to choose VR is equal to 2 raised to power 3 and RF is equal to 3R. Okay, and with a negative sign as well, VR is equal to minus 2 raised to power 3. So if we are able to set these values, then it will be the actual remaining answer. So that becomes the complete conversion for R to R ladder type DAC. So in this way it is providing me advantages, as only 2 resistors are used, so there is no constraint of using such a wide range of resistors, and it does not require high precision resistors. So only 2 resistances are there. And then the disadvantages are low conversion speed, then binary weighted resistor process is a bit slower, but we are getting other advantages in form of relaxed resistor constraints. Okay. So, with this we come to the end of the lecture. Thank you very much.